Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe, that is Stephen Howson, and today, Steve, I'm asking what seems like a simple question, but is actually potentially £100 million question for the likes of Ineos, Jim Ratcliffe, Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada. What is actually going on with Michael Carrick? I know that sounds like I said, a simple thing, but since he arrived at Man United, we are the best team in the league in terms of points.
By a good while as well.
I think now City have dropped points as well last night, or should I say against Everton. It is by a decent margin. We keep winning. We have beaten all of the top teams around us. We've got the best record in the league against the sort of top six or big six if you want to include Tottenham as well. And all of this from a team that finished 15th last season.
And sacked his manager at Christmas.
To say that it's just new manager bounce is obviously massively underselling what's going on. But I want to actually go through the different sort of roles of a manager and work out what the fuck is actually happening here, because this is somewhat unprecedented, really. This doesn't happen. Even under Solskjaer, I think
Solskjaer had a slightly better record by like a game, maybe. One more win over a draw or something.
Yeah, and he was taking over a team that, had finished in the top four or thereabouts a couple of seasons before. We had Jose Mourinho, we had a team full of players that were used to winning things.
We won a trophy the year before Ollie took over. I mean, technically we did before. Well, not Carrick, but Amarin.
Yeah, I mean, just before we get into the tactical stuff, the details, what is going on, and why do you think people are so quick to kind of downplay it all?
People like to try and pattern recognise. It's a very human trait.
Yeah.
So people go, former manager, came in halfway through the season, basically at the same time, basically managed the same amount of games, basically had the same sort of success. If you appoint him again, it will crumble the same way it did with Ollie. But that presumes that Ollie was a failure. Ollie's final season was a downturn in performance.
Yeah.
And maybe they rushed to sack him. But his full 2 seasons in charge, we came second and third. It is undeniably our best back-to-back league finishes of any manager that we had.
Yeah.
So if that's a failure, I'm all aboard for another bit of failure, mate. I'm going to be honest.
Failure, is it?
We've had some worse failures than that. Yeah, for sure. Like 15th for starters. Yeah. So if you want to promise me that we're going to do the exact same thing we did under Ollie, I am here for it, right? The other thing that you've got to consider with the Ollie factor is how bringing him the players he didn't want. Me and you spoke about this the other day. You gave him a Ronaldo. The opportunity was there to sign him. They signed him. Was he the right tactical fit for us? Clearly not. There's a great interview with Steve McLaren, which I urge everybody to go and watch, where he sort of explains in precise, factual detail about what they were trying to do and what he wanted to do and what he did. That'll give you a bit of insight into what they were thinking of from a club side of things. Obviously, that was with Ten Hag, but I'm sure the same thing was happening under Ollie. The squad was arguably better.
Yeah. That
he had. And it came on the back of, arguably a better manager that had got a little bit toxic with Mourinho, because that's what he tends to do. When it goes west, it really goes west, and he likes to burn the place down on his way out. The other thing that you've got going on is, instead of Matt Judge and Ed Woodward in charge of transfers, you've got Ineos, which so far they've shown us in the identification of Dorgu, the identification of Sana Lemons, the ability to, it didn't require a lot of identification to select one of the best strikers in the league last season in Mbumo, or one of the most creative in Cunha. But they got them done, and they got them done with minimum fuss, and they were the right fit for the system that we had last summer when we signed him. That's gone a little bit janky now because we no longer play that exact system, but they're better suited to play in this system than like Cobby and Bruno were to play in the last system, so it's probably a net positive still anyway that you've got them. You're obviously about to lose Casemiro, so you need a big statement signing to replace that. If Ineos back themselves, and repeating myself of what I said the other day, if Ineos back themselves that they can identify the right talent to bring in, what is giving you pause to appoint Michael Carrick to do this job? I have reservations, the 2-game-a-week issue, but at the same time I can caveat that by saying we don't have the squad right now that can play 2 games a week. You lose Sesko, who are you playing?
I mean, right now it's Xerxes, isn't it? But I think he's probably going to leave in the summer.
Yeah.
So, and Burmo up front?
It's not good enough.
No, it's not.
You lose Casemiro, who are you playing?
Ugarte.
It's not good enough.
No.
The only place that we're able to sustain any sort of injuries is defence, and we're currently in the middle of.
Yeah.
He's gone through, and I saw a comment the other day sort of laughing at me saying that De Ligt and Martinez are our best 2 centre-halves. I stand on that 100 times out of 100. They are our best 2 centre-halves.
Who else is then? I mean, when fully fit and having played 6 games in a row already, I think they're probably considered.
I did not think that was a controversial statement.
No.
Apparently it was, but whatever.
I mean, I guess it's a testament to the way Heaven's pushed on, the fact that Maguire stepped up, but I think, I don't think that's particularly controversial.
No, but ultimately that's one area of the pitch that we've got depth in.
Yeah.
We have one goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And Tom Heaton, who is basically retired.
Yeah.
You've got a little bit of depth in full-back area, not the greatest, but you do have Dorgu and Shaw, you do have Mazraoui and Delo. You've got some... Right wing seems to be the only place that we've got like genuine depth. We've got 3 players. Ahmad and Bumo and Shea Lacey. And, there's a little bit of confusion there over who the genuine first choice there is. This squad, right now, is not capable of playing 2 games a week. I think we need to bring on some youngsters ahead of next season. I think they're going to have to bring in some big signings and probably some free signings. I see Peter Schmeichel's linked us with Granit Xhaka. Mad shout. Not a mad shout, though. Like, mad shout if that's our marquee signing. Not a mad shout if it's Baleba, Tchouaméni, and we also got a Granit Xhaka.
Yeah.
I'll have some of that.
I was saying Goretzka
Don't tell your
Jay
mum.
in the video yesterday for the same reason.
Yeah.
He's on a free, and he's...
Same with Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Same with Danny Welbeck, if you could tickle Brighton's balls and get something out of that. Like, there is a lot of very good... like, this is Calvert-Lewin last year, and look how well he did.
Yeah.
Look how much shit we got, mate, after that shout last year, and people were like, what are you talking about? He's fucking kept Leeds up.
Yeah.
Legitimately kept Leeds up.
Good player. And he's certainly, not to kind of have a go at Xerxes, but he's a more obvious replacement to a number 9 like Sesko than Xerxes is. He at least is a number 9 who can score goals.
I wonder if they'd flip him. Wonder if they'd consider flipping him for a bit of profit.
Maybe.
What would they want? Probably 30-40 million now, wouldn't it?
I think they'd be pushing. I'd say 20 to 25 you'd probably get him.
I would sign that check right now if I could.
Really?
Because he's going to score you goals, and he's not going to need to play every single week. And you don't need to change your style of play when you bring him on.
No.
He just carries on doing what Sesko does in a different sort of style.
Yeah. I mean, just obviously the squad there is looking ahead. What we've got right now, because like you mentioned with Solskjaer, so I wanted to talk about that anyway. People say like new manager bounce, or people say look at what happened with Solskjaer. What these 2 managers have done in their interim spells is like almost unique. And I'm not saying it's the best ever of all time, but it's not a million miles away when you look at interim spells by coaches coming into any clubs and having
Solskjaer's actual record wasn't bad until the final season.
Yeah, exactly. What is it about those guys, about the squad, or about Man United maybe more as a whole, that has allowed our last 2, I mean, should I say 2 of the last 3, because obviously we didn't see anything like this under Ralph Rangnick.
And does that not explain something? That it's not universal for interims?
Well, exactly. So what is it? What's going on there? I mean, I want to get into a few things. With its confidence, there's the tactics, the coaches they brought in, the fact that they know the club and the demeanour of the person and themselves. But just starting with the confidence thing, that's an easy, obvious thing that has improved, isn't it? Especially, I think, just across the team as a whole, there seems to be the players believe in whatever is going on a little bit more than they did the 3 at the back stuff.
Yeah. I think he simplified what they were trying to do. I think he made us more defensively secure. I think that has clipped our wings a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of articles this week about United are actually worse off on the XG. Cool. Because actually what's happened, we've scored early in a lot of games. And then we've rode our luck is what we've done. But guess what? We actually scored.
Yeah.
So whether the XG is an interesting metric, and I think it's probably one of the most accurate metrics of did we deserve to win that game or did we not deserve to win that game. But game state matters as well.
Yeah.
You can hammer on the door and have loads of chances at the end of a game, and that can skew what the XG was because one opposition had won the game and decided it was going to see it out. That happens frequently, and I think that's happened quite a lot with United. I mean, look at the game against Liverpool. We ended the game with us on the back foot again. Yeah. Look at the game against Bournemouth the other week.
Yeah.
Bournemouth or
Brentford.
Brentford? I always mix them up. Yeah.
Brentford.
Like, we were holding on for dear life,
Yeah.
but the game was won, and it was won.
Yeah.
Like, so the game state of your XG matter. See, there's another stat that what was the one that we invented last season?
Domestic weighted tilt.
Domestic
Which, by the
weighted
way,
tilt.
Tottenham are massively benefiting from right now. Playing Aston Villa in between two Europa League semi-finals when they've got a rotated team of like 8 players out.
By the way,
The
you
domestic
lot,
weighted tilt on that is incredible.
you lot smashed it as an audience.
Yeah.
The amount of people that sent us like dissertation level research on domestic weighted tilt was sensational. I think we need a game state XG.
Yeah.
GSXG.
Yeah, I like that. And I think a good example of that, I think it was against City, wasn't it, this summer or this season, where we looked pretty good. And there was a 6-3 a couple of years ago, another one where you look at the XG, you think across the season.
Have you ever looked at the XG of the 6-1 at home?
Against City? What, the 2012 one? No. Oh, it's like 2 each, isn't it?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know in terms of shots, and the shots quality was very similar. Do you know they only had 7 shots?
No.
Do you know how many we had?
I'm guessing 10.
6.
Oh, really? So like the same, basically.
Yeah, I think the 2-1 might have been the game.
The
Yeah,
Liverpool 7-0 was very similar, wasn't it? Their XG was only like 2.3.
yeah, when it like 2-1 XG.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But so that's so the 6-3 against City.
But that Liverpool game, we did
yeah.
actually create chances after when it was over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the same with the City game. We were like 6-1 up or 5-1 and then 6-3. But then you think if you average that out across the season, we probably made an XG of about 2.5 against City that day. But it was useless XG because we'd already lost.
Yeah,
so
and
it's
City
actually,
already give up.
Yeah, it's lifting the value of your average, but realistically, it is wasted. It's completely ineffectual.
Game state XG.
Yeah.
Get in touch. We'll sort that out because I think that's valid.
The 3-0 against Man City earlier this season. I remember at 3-0, we had loads of chances. We kept making chances, and you think, again, that's probably lifted our XG up for the season, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So, like you said, scoring early on and stopping teams or allowing a bit more XG after you've scored, that's because you control the game state. Onto the tactical thing, because I know that was something that you'd had a bit of reservations over, specifically the inflexibility when it came to tactics and seemingly wanting to set up the same way, do the same thing against everyone. We have seen a bit more variation in that. I think the obvious one is switching to 3 at the back against Brentford for the second half.
Massive, yeah.
Which is completely different. I mean, I think against Liverpool...
Hilarious as well.
Yeah, that was fun.
We're going 4-2-4 against Liverpool for the last part.
Well, so have you seen a bit more development on that front that's encouraged you at all?
Maybe it's just getting to know his players more.
Okay.
And maybe it's getting to know what they know more. And maybe it's just more time on the training field where, I'm sure they do scenario training 20, 30 minutes at the end of like a Wednesday afternoon, little 11v11 against the 23s or something like that, where they're like, right, okay, you 1-0 up, let's see the game out. Okay, you 1-0 up and you've had a player sent off. What do you think we should do? And then they workshop it a little bit. Okay, play. Okay, what's working, what's not working? They're finding a lot of space in midfield. All right, well, let's have him dropping into there. Okay, now what are they doing? Right, all right, this works. All right, we'll roll with that then at weekend. And that maybe just takes a couple of months to start to get to know the players who can be flexible, who can move this that way and that way. And maybe it's just that. Maybe it was just a time thing. And, you need a pre-season. You need a pre-season so you can sit there with your presentations and be like, right, okay, here's plan A with the ball. Here's plan B with the ball. Here's plan C with the ball. Here's plan A without the ball. Here's how we're going to transition. Here's the focuses that we're going to have on the transition. I've watched his play a bit now, and I understand just a little bit. He came in probably with a fan's eye view of what was doable. Yeah. And I bet if you could have an honest conversation with him, if you had 10 assumptions when you walked in January, how many of them have you still... would you say you were correct on? I bet it's like 6, something like that. There was a couple of things I was totally fucking wrong on, and that will have adapted his tactics and his thinking and all the rest of it.
We've also seen, I think it's the Athletic saying that the understanding is that Carrick right now is doing what he thinks is needed to win with the squad as they are, and we'll see more of him and his style and his ideology sort of next season with a couple of different players with the pre-season. So that sort of echoing what you're saying.
Wait. That's on the assumption he gets the job.
That's on the assumption he gets the job, of course.
Well, I like that. I like the fact that people are projecting that or discovering that, though.
Yeah. I mean, and it does make sense, doesn't it? Like, we said that with...
Well, what was his job? His job wasn't to win the league.
Or to plan for 5 years down the line.
No, his job was, can you get us in the Champions League so we can build on for next season? And fucking hell, he did it.
And then it was, yes,
Joey fucking did it.
I know.
Go, someone play our predictions. I think I said 9th.
I think I said European football, but not Champions League. I didn't think we'd get Champions League.
How do you go from fucking 15th, right? We finished 15th. Then we sack our manager. Question marks. Third place.
Ridiculous, isn't it? And the best team in the league since we sacked him. I mean, one other thing I want to talk about is his coaches. There's a couple of things I still want to talk about. His coaches is one. So obviously, we've got different levels of experience and of knowledge of Man United. You've got Johnny Evans in there as part of the coaching. You've got Travis Binion in there as part of the coaching team. We've got Jonathan Woodgate in there as well. And for some reason, I always forget his name. The main guy.
Steve Holland.
Steve Holland. Do you know certain people that, whether it's like...
It's too generic a name. Imagine having a dead generic name, Joe Smith.
Can't imagine it. Steve Holland, who actually...
Steve Holland sounds like a made-up character in the bill.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Steve Holland. Oh, down at 36. Yeah, that's him. He's got a very good CV. He's worked at Chelsea. He's worked at England. He's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. How much do you think they are playing a role in this? It's hard to say because we never see it, but they must be doing something, right?
Yeah, I think he's been a bit of a masterstroke in terms of, like, he's been there and done it as an assistant at the highest level and won stuff. And I think any doubts that Carrick would have had, he'll have bounced them around a few different people, but I think he'll have bounced them off him. He obviously trusts Jonathan Woodgate because he had him elsewhere. Yeah. He obviously trusts Johnny Evans because he appointed him and he played with him. So that's something. I reckon he probably has the most honest conversations with Johnny because of the relationship they've had. And I bet Johnny's the one that's able to go, I think you're full of shit. I don't think that's going to fucking work at all. Yeah. Or he's taking a fucking piss. Or he's late again. I think he's the one, Johnny, that'll have the... I think Johnny's got a ruthless side to him. He's fucking lovely, isn't he? But I think that he's also got that fucking high standard ruthlessness.
And he's been in the training. I know even when he came back, he was already seen as a bit of an elder statesman, and maybe the younger players won't piss around in front of him too much because of what he represents. But he's certainly been in the trenches with the players, behind the scenes, who chats shit about the manager constantly, who turns up late, who's eating takeaways every night. He'll know more about that than certainly Travis Binion or Steve Holland would.
And not only that, you can't look at him, you can't side-eye him and be like, you're just a fucking grass or whatever. Yeah. Like, cool, do you want to come and have a look at the trophies I won? We'll have a tour through the museum if you like. Yeah. Because there's a few.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the next thing... And
actually,
yeah, go on.
Michael Carrick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had that.
Well, that was the thing I wanted to move on
Manchester United is a unique entity. And I hope it stays a unique entity and not becoming just another... whatever. Yeah. And I do think that there are challenges that are unique to being Manchester United manager, as Amarim found out doing 300 interviews in a year. Like, that's got to send your head absolutely west. It'll be new to Michael Carrick having that level of scrutiny on him compared to when he was a player, because there was always a Wayne Rooney or a Cristiano that probably had more demand to speak to him than he would have done. But he'll have seen it. He'll have understood it. He was there long enough. And I saw this, this isn't my original thought, but I saw it and I went, that's fucking bang on that. So whoever it was that said this, absolutely correct. Michael Carrick arrived at Manchester United to play defensive midfield and chose the number 16 shirt after we'd lost Roy Keane. Did anyone question his suitability for wearing that shirt? I mean, they did, but after a season, was there any question about his ability? So this is a man that not only understands pressure, thrives in it, and led us to a title first season. Yeah, delivered a Champions League, and then I think they win 5 in total.
Yeah, right. And like you said, the 16 shirt thing, you could have avoided that. You could have said.
I think most would have avoided that.
He's obviously not just this nice, quiet sort of trimmed up, nice haircut sort of pushover that people want to paint him as if they can. There's something else there. There's a mentality there that is not befitting of his demeanour. Because, like you said, going in there, taking Roy Keane's kit number when you didn't have to, when you're a different type of player entirely, but you're going to, you know what?
I play in the same position, but I play it totally different.
I'm going to live up to that shirt. And he's not Roy Keane, but he didn't waste that number 16 shirt.
When we've seen some of the absolute bin fires that we've had as a number 7, like no one looks at, like, people look at that number 16 shirt and he's had a pretty good lineage through Carrick and Roy Keane.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just that was my final question really. Is there an element, and I don't want to be a Real Madrid where you just get people to come in and pat you on the back and buy a load of megastars and win sometimes, lose sometimes, and never have these like, great teams that I guess they've had great teams, but I think Ronaldo only won like 3 La Ligas in the 8 years he was there because they were kind of a cup team really. But is there an element with these absolute mega teams that you do have to approach them differently? And if you can be a tactical genius and have the rest, then that would be great. But more of what is successful or what would be successful at Man United is about knowing the place, knowing the city, knowing the history, knowing the pressure. Do you think for a team like us, you need that maybe more than you need a De Zerbi or someone that's got a really strong tactical vision?
Well, look at Barcelona. The players that have succeeded there have been ex-players.
The managers, yeah.
Real Madrid, I'm pretty sure Xabi Alonso had a better win rate than, and obviously he was an ex-player, but he also got a bullet, had a better win rate than Zidane. I think he did anyway. I know Rafa Benitez had a better fucking win rate than Zidane. But does anyone want to make the argument that Rafa Benitez was a better fucking Real Madrid manager than Zidane? I doubt it. Sometimes it ain't about what you do as much as who you are. And I think Ollie got this reputation. Ollie hilariously got called a PE teacher when actually Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal were both literally PE teachers at some point in their life.
Yeah.
How mad's that, by the way?
Yeah.
Ollie got called his PE teacher when he would have stood up in the corner of that room. And, you're going into those... Look at some of the things Ollie said. Like, you've got a hell of a mountain to climb in Paris. Mountains that hurt a peak climb. Yeah. Joe, I fucking barred up straight away when he said that. Oh, my God. And then we went and fucking did it.
Yeah.
Ollie got told he was just vibes. The guy had more tactics than fucking anybody. You went to City and beat Pep more than anyone else ever has done. You go to Paris with a team full of fucking children against an absolute megastar of Mbappe and Di Maria, and what a team that was, and dick 'em on their own turf and knock them out. Like, when there's a guy wearing a bib, by the way.
Yeah, never seen before or since.
No. There's a guy stands in the corner of that room and tells you what it's like to win the Champions League at this football club, and you go, well, he'd fucking know. And Michael Carrick's got that same thing. When he stands in front of them lads on a Wednesday night in, when's it start, September?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait already.
No, I can't
Grown
wait.
Man Christmas.
Yeah.
Play that fucking tune. Oh, God, I'm going to be in there about 6:30. Yeah. As it play it, just test it that it works.
Just make sure, use the speakers, get it out, pump it out.
Have it on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, when Michael Carrick stands in the corner of that fucking dressing room and goes, lads, fucking Champions League football, this is what it's all about, the big fucking trophy, you go, he's played in 3 finals.
Yeah.
He's won one of them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that matters.
Yeah, it must do. Of course it does. If you think it does, then it does. Because people aren't any more complex or any more sort of thoughtful than you or I, really. These are footballers who get motivated and excited by a lot of the same things that any other person on the planet does. They just happen to be great at football.
Rum.
Rum, exactly, some of them, that's the problem. But, like, if you see someone that has done your job to a higher or same degree as you, telling you how to do your job, that is a lot more palatable than someone you go, sorry, who the fuck are you? At any level, at any job. And you go...
Oh, you mean like the fucking LinkedIn reject?
Yeah, exactly. And that does make a difference. And you go, and either you do it by being an incredible manager, which is great. You do it by being an incredible player. Ideally, you end up being both, which a lot of the greatest managers of all time were good players as well. But I do think, that has to make a difference, standing up at the front and not just saying, when we did all right in Portugal, or when we won with Ajax, or whatever it may be, I did this with this club, in this stadium, in this dressing room, 15 years ago.
And let me tell you what it means.
Yeah, and here's how you do it. That has to mean something to me and to the players, and I think it does. Right, that's going to be all from us. Cheers, Steve, as always. Cheers for joining us at home as well. You let us know in the comments what is actually going on with Michael Carrick, because it's not just go out and enjoy yourselves and a bit of luck. There's something happening here more than it feels as though people are willing to let on. So get your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see you in a bit.